Is it going?
We are on.
Are we there? Oh, there we are.
Yeah, buddy.
Tuesday Night Live. We're back. Better than ever. My buddy Mike is here, waiting on all of our other friends to show up. Mike, you're decked out in the UK tonight. Mike, how
Yeah,
hard?
man. Hey, we're wearing the cats for support.
Listen, if you
Go
don't
ahead.
know Michael very well, this man, diehard Kentucky basketball fan. Like, I'm not saying like he likes them. I'm saying like it literally affects his life. Am I wrong, Mike?
No, you're not. You're not wrong at all. If they go down, it affects me a little bit.
If they win or lose, it literally affects his life. I feel like, is my volume and mouth different?
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe. Is it a little bit? I wonder why.
Yeah, a little bit.
Jimmy Carroll, Josh is here, said, "What's up, girls?" I don't know who he's talking to. This is two men, Michael. Jimmy Carroll's here. Love you, Jim. Hey, look, if you're watching, let us know you're watching. Don't be a lurker. Don't be just sitting there, creeping. Click on the screen. Let us know you're here. Let us see your name, your pretty face. Give us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. But what I was saying is Mike's decked out in his UK. Mike is a bought-in, die-hard, blue-blooded UK fan, and he had a hard time with that Alabama loss, didn't you, Mike?
I wouldn't. I tell you what, I was worse with the Georgia loss. The reason I don't like the Alabama loss is because I don't like Nate Oates and I don't like Alabama. So those always hurt when you lose games where you're just not a big fan of somebody. Kind of extra hurt when you lose, but that's a really good ball club. So you can kind of get over that a little bit. But it was more so like those Georgia losses, the Clemson loss, Ohio State. Those losses bother me bad, man. I'm not a fan.
You know what they say about Georgia, though? A blind squirrel even a blind squirrel finds a nut. I just saw that. Adventures with fur, feathers, and fins. We're getting together. Listen, we're talking about trapping tonight. Deer season's over. We're going to talk about deer season in a minute. We're talking about trapping. We're still in the same. We've been talking about this since 2016. Well, 2020, I guess, when we first started this page. Making trapping great again, right? We're going to make trapping great again. The inauguration was yesterday. We're making America great again. We're making America healthy again. And we're making trapping great again. And I have me a good old dog-proof trap sitting in there in my kitchen. And I've not used it yet. I need to. But right now, I mean, it's still, Arian said frozen tundra of southern Kentucky. I'd have to chisel the ice in my backyard just to put it in the ground. So I'm going to wait till it warms up a little bit. You know what? The views are a little low tonight. Hopefully those will pick up. But, we're glad you're here. Listen, deer season just ended in Kentucky this weekend. And we're going to take a look. Mike, have you seen the numbers?
I have not seen the numbers.
I've not seen the numbers. So we're going to take a look. We're going to look at how many deer have we killed this year compared to last year? How many have been killed in your county? So if you're wanting to know the numbers, the data for deer hunting in your county, get that ready, right? We're going to show that. All you got to do is ask, but we're trying to get as many comments. Let's put up here. What can we do today? You think we can get – I bet we can get 400 comments. 400 comments, and here's what I'm going to do. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Mike, go ahead and tell everybody how your deer season went. I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, good evening, Joe. Wanted to say hi to some folks, Arian and Brent. Thanks for joining us. And obviously, Jim, we saw you on here. Thank you, buddy, for joining us again. And so just a little bit about my deer season. I know John's back. I got one doe this year. And the deer season was a little bit different for me this year. I probably hunted the least amount that I've ever hunted in my entire life. The kids are actually, today is my daughter's birthday. She turned 10.
Hey, can we just, we want to be able to show Haley this. Her name's Haley, Haley.
Yep.
So if you just look, Mike's going to show her after the show. Just put in there, happy birthday, Haley. Tell her happy birthday. He will show her in the comments, and that's going to make her day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I think last week's show was slow. I was sitting here, I was talking by myself, just rambling on. We still had like 6,400 views. Yeah. So if we can get like 100 people to tell Haley happy birthday. So if you watch this, whether it's Tuesday night and it's live, or you watch it on Wednesday and it's a replay, just put happy birthday, Haley, in there. It's going to make, how old is she, 9?
She's 10.
10, double
Yeah, 10,
digits.
double
I thought
digits.
she was younger than Nora. But anyway, so your deer season, get back to it.
Yeah, yeah. So the kids are at that age, man, where we're doing everything, running around, flying around. So deer season was a little different for me this year. I was getting acclimated. I'm doing so much coaching with the kids on different ball clubs, and
Yeah.
I've just been very much involved in my kids' stuff. So deer season was a little bit less time spent in the woods, I should say. But I did harvest a doe this year off my uncle's place, which was a
There you
great
go.
hunt. But didn't see a lot of bucks just in my times that I did go out to hunt. But hey, that some of those seasons happen, and when you're super involved with your kids, and you're just going to go through times in life where that's going to happen.
Joshua said, my brother said, I love you, Mike, but I would rather watch a Kentucky loss to Duke with Christian Leitner than watch a game with Mike. If you watch a
Oh,
game with Mike and we lose, all hell breaks loose.
yeah,
It ruins him. It
I,
ruins his life. He's married to Kentucky basketball.
I bring the morale down when we lose. That's no, there's no question.
WO says he knows the count of deer killed is down by 2 because he didn't get his limit. I contributed 1. Mike contributed 1. I believe Josh contributed 1. Not great numbers, but here we are. Kevin. Did I get that right? Is it Kevin? It's a K. Kevin or Keith. I got it wrong last week. Think I got it right this week. I got 1 doe. My son killed his first buck of his life, and he got it 2 days before his 18th birthday.
That's
There you
cool.
go, man. Can't get it
That's
right.
awesome.
WO says happy 10th birthday, Haley. Brent says when the kids are grown, you'll have more time to hunt. For now, they are more important. But when they leave the nest, let them fly, right?
Investment, man. Investment. That's what we're doing.
There we go. Yeah, I have basketball. I coach my girls' basketball team. We are 2-1. The one loss, hand up, it was on me. Should have been more aggressive. First game of the year. We ain't gonna, that's not gonna happen again. Last week, up by 10 in the fourth quarter. I start to sub. They cut it to 2. We pulled out the win. I got nervous. This poor little girl, listen, you guys might think I'm horrible. This poor little girl, I put her in, and sweet as pie, just the sweetest little thing. And they immediately scored 6 points. I said, get out. Get out. Get out. And she's like, what? I said, just get out. We're good. Oh, God. I was so mad.
Hey, my team, Caleb's team, that I'm coaching right now, we're 6-2, and we're 3-1 in games decided 2 points or less.
Whew.
We've had a lot of close ball games. I had a similar story. This last game that we played, we were up by like 12. You can't press after you're up 10, so I took the press off because we had to with the rules. And other team came back, and we only ended up winning by 1. So, man,
Arian, don't tell me that. Arian said the kids never truly leave. Arian, I just figured I got 10 more years with them here. And don't ruin my night. Don't ruin my night. Gordy's here all the way from Ohio. Gordy, is Ohio's season still running? Is it over? I don't know, Mike. Is it? There are some states that end like December 31st. Mm-hmm. We have a pretty long season, the first week of September through like the second-ish, third-ish week of maybe the third weekend in January.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy told me today, he was talking about he's not really seen many bucks on camera. And I said, well, how's this weather affected him? He's like, I had to I turned my camera off because he was getting so many pictures of deer that it was draining my batteries. And he's got like bobcats showing up and stuff. He's kind of watching, but he's like, it was killing my batteries. I got so many pictures of deer during this winter storm that I turned it off. So, we did switch places. You know what, Chris? I don't like that. Do we switch back? I like to be in the first position.
Yep.
It just is what it is.
Co-host. Host.
I didn't even know. Glad you're here, Chris. That's weird. I don't know what's weird, but I would say you're right. My boy just started another season at Hustle and NKY mixed with my daughter, competitive cheer. I have no time. Well, my daughter cheers and my girl plays basketball same time, same team.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I'm the coach. I got to be there. Mike, I understand how it is when Kentucky loses. My wife can't hardly watch the game with me. WO, you're not even on the same level, brother, as Michael. WO, I love you. You're the greatest fish fryer. And I'm sure you love the cats. You're not even in the same hemisphere as Michael. Trust me. Trust me. James Evans here. I don't know if I shout him out, but I'm glad he's back. Some of you have not been here in a while, and we're glad you're back. We've not been here in a while. Last week was first week back. Actually, Bub Tackett texted me and said, "Are you going live tonight?" And I said, "Yes, if you're going to watch." And guess who's not here? Bub Tackett. I'm going to text him right now. So let's talk about Kentucky harvest results. Let's look at them. I'll tell you what, let's take a guess. Let's say 2023. So one deer season ago, 2023 into 2024. I want you to guess how many total deer were killed in Kentucky. Don't Google it. Don't search it. I want you to guess in the comments how many total deer were killed in Kentucky in 2023 last season. And look, if we get 400 comments, I'm going to give you this nice decal. You know, I don't know how much Billy Barnett sells them for, but look at this. Turkey Hunting USA. They are partnering with us again. I talked to Billy over the weekend. He's going to be starting March, the first weekend in March, all the way through turkey season, which is about 6 weeks, 6 Tuesdays. We're going to be giving away one Turkey Hunting USA mouth call, 2 of the winner, and every week we're going to have a turkey calling contest. You're going to be going against Mike. You're going to be going against Josh. You're going to be going against whoever wants to come up here. We're going to draw one person, 2 people. We might give away a decal. We might give a decal to second place and a call to first place. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But if you want a decal tonight, we got to get to 400 comments. And look, I've got about 10 of these.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give them away like candy.
Absolutely.
I've got a tethered sticker over here. I've got all kinds of stuff.
I've got that orange hat.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got 124,000, 137,577, 125, 146,50, 142,873, 123, 136,435. If you got it exactly right, man, I tell you, you cheated. Let's see. In 2023, the total number of deer killed in the state of Kentucky was, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to answer. All right, you got to put in the comments how many deer were killed in the state of Kentucky 2023 if we get 400 comments. Actually, I'll give one away to the closest, and we'll give another one away if we get 400 comments to just a random person. Now, Joe Carter loves when we give things away, and he is always kind of greedy. He's like, what are you giving away tonight? You giving away that hat? You giving away? Joe, this will look great on your this will look great on your truck, my friend. Joe's got a lot of dogs, don't he? He's got a lot of dogs.
I believe, unfortunately, he had a dog pass away recently. So we're sorry about that, Joe.
Oh, Joe. Chris said he already has one of these. He wants an EOM sticker. Well, you're going to have to talk to Michael about that. Let's see. The answer, 141,065. The winner, Arian Gregory. He just said it was almost 141,000. It wasn't almost. It was just slightly over 141,065. Now, if you've not seen second round of guesses here, how many did we kill this year? Let's do this first. Do you think we killed more or less in 2024? Based on the season you had, do you think we killed more deer in 2024 or less deer in 2024? And I have the answer. Think about the weather. Think about your experiences. Think about what you saw on social media. Think about what we've talked about. You guys have lots of good deer. Some of you say, I've not seen a good deer all year. Do you think we've killed more or less? Mike said less. He thinks we've killed about 136,000. Tommy says less. Jim says more. Mike says more. Brent says more. Arian says more. Jeremy says less. Jeremy, glad you're here. WO says less, 138,000. So if you think it's more or less, go ahead and put your number. What do you think it is? Mike, I got the number. Do you know?
I don't know the number. The thing that I just posted was just an absolute guess. But I'll be honest with you, the gun season was really, really rough. We did not harvest the number of deer that we normally do during gun season. So I kind of thought that put us way behind our final total. We'll
Yeah.
see what it is when you reveal
Gordy
it. But
said, I should have read the article today. I seen it released. I haven't seen it, but I've not been on Facebook. People are holding out for bigger deer nowadays. That could be true. I tell you, one guy's not. Right here. I'm not. Scott says less. Can we just say, Scott Butler, glad you're here. Hope you're healthy. We love you. 144-ish, 144,000-ish. Okay. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Now, if Arian wins both, he's just going to put one on each side of his back windshield. One on the left, one on the right. His and hers, if you will, of Turkey Hunting USA.
There we go.
Or he can give it away to a buddy. Or I can send him the tethered one. Or what else could I send him? Nothing within arm's length right here. The answer is, Brent says, I shot a 2-year-old buck this year, and boy, did he taste good. A lot better than tag soup last year. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Chris says, what's up with the newsletters? Time, Chris.
Lack thereof.
I'm literally busier than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
With my new job. I'm very grateful. I have a great job. I love it. I love the men I work with. I love the customers I have. I love the money I make. But boy, am I busy.
Yeah, we both.
And I may have a couple other things that keep me busy. But time, Chris. If you can find a way to give me more hours in a day, brother, I'll get that turned out every week.
Yeah, we both have kind of slipped on the production of that. So we're definitely going to try to reach some goals and get back to writing and get back to posting some things when we can.
There was we actually had a guy wanting to come on the show tonight. My brother's buddy who has been creating some mobile hunting equipment. He's been I think it's with a 3D printer. He's creating some stuff. That's very cool. And I was just like, I'm just not ready for it tonight.
Yeah.
But he's going to come on in a couple of weeks. Mike, I think you had someone that was going to come on.
We talked about potentially having Alan, with us kind of.
Oh, yeah, Alan Probst with the trapping.
And,
yeah.
Brent was just talking about coyote hunting. So maybe we can reach out to John Collins, see if we can have him on to talk a little bit about coyotes.
The greatest coyote hunter in the United States.
Absolutely. So he'd definitely be able to give you some tips on this show for sure.
Yeah. James Evans says, man, I saw some massive bucks come out of Kentucky this year. Do we know the amount of bucks that were Boone and Crockett from the last year to the year before? I don't think we know the count this year. Some of them probably still have to be measured, but we will know that. It is usually in the next year's, what's it called? Fall season guide regulation.
Yeah, it's in the fall guide.
It's usually in the next fall guide. So we will know that, James. We don't know it yet. There's a drying period. So really anything killed in December probably hasn't been, was it 30-day, 60-day drying period?
Yeah, it's 60.
60 days. So, even ones killed in late November is not going to be ready to measure yet. So we'll know that. But I'll tell you this, Eastern Kentucky has been representing the last so many years. I was just talking to somebody the other day, said, look, I'm probably going to live here until my kids are grown. And then I wouldn't mind if I'm going to move. I'd like to move to Pulaski County, Somerset. You got Lake Cumberland. You're close to Del Hollow. At the same time, incredible turkey and deer hunting.
Yeah.
Right. So there's always stuff. All right. Let's talk about this year's. Sorry, I was reading that comment. I can't get this one off there. Oh, there we go. So we were saying last year's was 141,065. Mike, this year's total. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
149,881. We beat it by over 9,000 deer.
That's shocking.
So Kentucky killed 9,000 more deer in 2024 than it did in 2023. Now, let's look who got the closest. 144. Did Arian get the closest again? I tell you what, I think he did. Well, a lot of people didn't guess. All right, who got the second closest? Let's see. Jimmy, 142. All right, second closest. Gordy had 140. Yeah, so we killed them by 9,000 more. Now, someone said they thought we killed 3,000 more bucks. Let's see if that's true. And this year we killed... Oh, male. I was looking for the word buck. This year we killed 86,080 male deer. Last year we killed 79. We beat the buck total by 7,000. We beat the doe total by 2. That's a lot more bucks. Are you guys happy with that? I got a question. Are you happy seeing killing 9,000 more deer? That's good. But killing 7,000 more bucks seems pretty significant.
It is.
Are you happy to see that number of bucks go up? I would rather see us kill 7,000 more does.
That's the key.
Right?
Yep.
If we want to keep those Boone and Crockett bucks that James mentioned, we need to kill, especially if you're west of I-75. Right? If you're west of I-75, if you're in central and western Kentucky, we need to kill a lot more does. Joe says it's because prices of food. People are starving. Everyone needs the meat. I think that has something to do with it. Now, here's my thing. There's nothing wrong with this. But most of the people I know, though, that deer hunt and kill their deer, they take it and they're paying, $120, $130 to process it. You really ain't saving money if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, like, I went, what was it? Last Friday to my buddy Josh Sweet's house, good friend of mine. He had some of his buddies over, and it was like a wrap up to deer season. We had deer chili, we had summer sausage, great food, great people, and we all just kind of talked about how our season went and talked about whatever we wanted. And what was I saying that? Totally lost what I was saying. But Josh was saying he had this incredible summer sausage, jalapeno. It's seriously the best summer sausage I've ever had.
Yeah.
But he paid good for it.
Right. Yeah.
Like he paid for the quality. He paid for the quality. And that's cool, right? But you can't say I'm hunting because I don't have any food when you're paying that much, when you're paying like $8 a pound for all that stuff. So I think most people just hunt because they like it.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
if it comes down to it, it's a great skill to have. Bub says I'm late, 23 minutes late. What kind of city commissioner who texts me? Now, Bub is a local politician. He's doing big things for the city of Wheelwright. He just opened up public land access in Wheelwright. He got the gate opened again. He's draining the swamp in Wheelwright. He texts me before the live and says, hey, you going live? You know what? I'm thinking about starting my own podcast. Can you give me advice? You're the best I've ever seen. All this. And he's 23 minutes late. I just don't know what it says about a man. What does it say about the character of someone like that? I don't know. Maybe the police chief is right. Maybe Bub's bad news. I don't know. I'm just giving it a hard time. He's hiring a new police chief. Oh, I thought that was him texting me, but it's not. That would have been funny. And he said, hey, Buns, here, better than late. Oh. He said, hey, Buns. He meant, hey, Bub. Better late than never. I was wondering why he said LOL Bub. He called him Buns. That's funny. Rick says, process and make your own. It's not that hard, even for a beat up old man. I mean, it's not. It's fun. I think it's fun. But again, do you have the time? Do you have the time? Do you have the patience? It's not easy.
Yeah, I do think for convenience, people have them processed and just pay for it a lot of times.
Kevin says, well, hey, y'all, stay warm. I will text you this week. He's talking to me. He's my friend. I'll text you this week, try to set up a date and get you. And if you're bringing anyone with you, but get a date for Flying Hawks. Now, look, we've mentioned this the last couple of times. We're going to go out and join and watch him take down some small game with his Hawks. I can't wait. It's going to be one of the coolest things.
That is, yes, that's really cool.
Amazing. It's going to be fun. All right, man. Hey, holler at me. Shoot me a text, my friend. Scott says, saw a lot first-time hunters posting pics last season. Hey, if our numbers are increasing because of new hunters, first-time hunters, right, we want that, Mike.
Yep, absolutely we do.
Trying to preserve the tradition. We're trying to grow the community. We're trying to improve the sport. So yeah, if it's because people are just wanting to kill bucks and not does, I would just wish we could kill more does. Gordy says, "Hey, any word on how Scott's doing?" Well, he's right there. Scott, how you doing? I think he's doing a little better. He's here and he's with us. And so, Gordy, I think it probably means the world that you asked that.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
Bub says, I was getting the second mouse gets the cheese. I don't know.
Second mouse gets the cheese, is what he was saying.
Why did he say I was getting?
Not
I've
sure.
got him shook. I've got him shook. Virgil said I had 3 processors this year. The total was $375 on them, so $125 each. I mean, that's not a bad price.
No,
it's not a bad price at all. Man, I made an amazing pot roast out of my spring turkey legs and thighs. First time ever doing it, and it was a win for those tough cuts that are usually discarded. Look, that's one thing my brother and I have talked about is being more intentional on using every part of the deer. Using the ribs. No one ever uses the ribs because it's kind of tough. But if you find a creative way to use them, using the neck. Some people don't use the neck. We try to use the meat from the neck. So the more you can use, the better.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
I thought of that too when you said, I should have known that. Does anybody know what that's from? So you're also a freak about that movie too.
I love that movie, man.
Okay, Mike is Mike, man. We love him. We love him. Chris harvested a good one last Wednesday evening. I don't know anyone that's killed one after that. Do you, Mike?
No, I haven't heard of anybody getting one that recent.
Yeah, I talked last week about Caleb. 2 years in a row, he killed a deer on the very last day of season. Caleb had me here. Has anyone killed one? I wonder who killed the very last deer of the season. That's cool.
That would be fun to know. Yeah,
and there's probably somebody killed one today and just didn't care. They're probably killed all year. But I wonder who killed the last legal deer of the season. That'd be cool to know.
Yeah, it would. I'll be honest with you. We've done that total shocked me. That total shocked me. I had no idea that we surpassed last year's. I thought for sure we were coming underneath it. Thought we
killed less.
Yeah, I thought we were going to kill less than we did last year because the gun season, it was so warm that, we just heard so many people say we're not seeing rutting activity because how hot it is.
Right.
It was really bad weather throughout November as far as like hunting weather. So I just didn't think, and at the time when I saw the gun numbers right after gun season ended, I'm like, oh no, man, we're going to come way underneath that.
So I have a buddy at work. Just got to know him. He started new. And he had a big buck on public land. And he told me 2 weeks ago, I think, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go out there Saturday. And he's like, but I don't know. It wasn't this past Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. He's like, it was probably a mile walk from his truck. He hunted the far corner. It's flat land, but it's a far corner. It's a very popular like rabbit hunting place too. So it's got a lot of thick like brush and briars and things. He's like, man, I don't know. This was when it snowed and then we had ice and then it snowed again. So when you stepped on it, it was like, you step, your foot would like pause and then
top and then
pause. Boom. He's like, dude, I don't want to walk a mile doing that. And he said, and if I kill it, how in the world am I going to drag that thing out there? Because the snow is like there's tons of laydowns. It's just a very thick area. And I was like, bro, go get a sled. Like, just go get a kid's sled and put a rope on it. But he ended up not going. I think everyone gets excited for the snow. Everyone gets excited for the cold, and you want to hunt in it. What's better than shooting an animal or a deer, arrowing it, and that blood trail on that white snow? Oh, gosh, that's the thing that dreams are made of right there. Just that blood trail on that white snow. Perfect. Just an ideal hunt. But you got to get it out of there. Like, you got to get down in the ground and gut it and everything. And I think it keeps a lot of people home. I think it did. Let's show Chris's deer here. You guys want to see Chris's deer he killed last Wednesday?
Absolutely.
Who wants to see it? We're trying to get more comments. Who wants to see Chris's deer? Oh, let's see. Christopher Halstead.
Chris Robinson said guys on the Kentucky Hunting Forum killed some yesterday.
Nice. I usually get emails from that. Look at that. That's a good one. Late season, bow and arrow, maybe a crossbow, maybe a compound. I don't know. Put an arrow through it. You can see right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty
One,
buck.
2,
Man.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is a 10-pointer, looks like, in the snow. You can tell Chris is happy.
Yeah.
Chris, that's a great buck, man. That is a
Yeah,
really,
that's a
really
good one.
good buck. Love it. Love it. Let's see. Joe says he thought we killed less too. Chris said the cold weather the last few weeks put them on feed heavy. Yeah. I mean, if you're putting out, that's what my buddy that said he had to turn his trail camera off. He has a timed feeder, throws out corn 3 days or 3 times a day. He's like, man, they will not leave it. Like they're crushing it. Ohio keeps going up, and I keep seeing less and less deer. You know, Ohio has the reputation of if you ain't feeding, you ain't trying. And so that's just what I hear people say, like on podcasts and stuff. Chris shot a turkey in the snow the other day. Hope it was legal. I hope it was that legal, Mike?
Archery. Yeah, I believe
Archery still
archery.
going on?
I'd have
Chris
to look.
Chris wouldn't do it if it wasn't legal. Chris wouldn't do it if it wasn't legal. Yeah, we saw it. Me, Bub. Oh, look, Bub wants to see the deer. Chris, do it. Show it. Okay. Oh, everybody was in it. Bugging. What do you mean, Mike? Oh, he meant Biggie. I think he's trying to say. So Josh says bugging, and then he said Biggie. I think he was trying to say biggin.
Yeah.
Biggin. Not bugging or Biggie. Biggin. It was a big one. Nice 10-pointer. Chris said, did anyone else hear about people's poaching that deer off the nature preserve in Louisville? I did see an article about that. I didn't read it though.
Yeah, I saw a post. Didn't hear
Crazy.
much about didn't hear much about the result of it, but I did see that post.
People are nuts, man.
Anything for a buck, that's
so here's the deal.
What people do sometimes.
100. Let's just go ahead and round up 19 or whatever. 150,000 deer killed, right? Is that what we said, Michael?
Yep.
150,000 deer killed. Now, here's what I want to know. I want you guys to take another guess. Where do you think that ranks? If we go the last 15 years, 2010, we killed 110,000 deer. We're 40,000 more than 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2010, we killed 110,000 deer. Now, I've got 2 questions here. One, do you think it's a good thing that we're killing 40,000 more? Does that mean we have more hunters? Does that mean we have more deer? Does that mean our hunters are more active? I don't know. But where do you think 150,000 deer killed ranks in the last 15 years? Is it our highest total? Is it our third highest total? Our second or fourth or 10th or 12th or 15th? What do you guys think? Do you think it's up there? It's the record. Chris says he thinks it's the most deer we've ever killed is this year, 150,000. It was actually 149,880 something. So, Mike, where do you think? Mike, you thought we had killed a lot less this year.
Yeah.
So now knowing we've killed 150 roughly, where do you think it ranks?
I think it ranks 1.
You think this was the best deer season on record?
Yeah, I do believe so. I honestly, because I remember seeing
come on
a lot of 140s, mid 140s, low 140s. That's our consistent number.
Hey, is this a good point though? Is that a good point? What about the COVID year? More hunters than ever. More hunters than ever.
Yeah, I don't remember the totals of that year. Maybe that year smoked this year. I don't know. But
do you think why do you think we're killing more? We have more hunters now. We have more out-of-state hunters. We have more deer. We have more participation. I mean, same amount of hunters, but they're hunting more. Why do you think we're killing more deer? Is it a good thing we're killing more deer? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I think it's totally fine that we're harvesting deer. We've talked about it a second ago. I'd prefer people to harvest does rather than bucks, as far as the focus being on bucks. But I think
Yeah.
that's unfortunately something that people aspire to do is come to Kentucky and kill a big buck.
Gary says we have more hunters. I can say that here at Eastern Outdoors, we have contributed to bringing more hunters to this state.
I think that's probably fair. Talking
We
about
have.
it and discussing
Absolutely.
it.
I can name Gary Kite's one of them. We have helped bring more hunters to the state. Some people don't like that. I like it because we get more money. We get more money in this state if we have more hunters. But do we have too many? Look at Arian out here spitting facts again. Wasn't the highest year like 151? We're going to talk about that, Arian. So the highest year we've ever had this year, 149,880 something, roughly 150,000. If we ranked it 1 to 15, if we ranked it 1 to 100, it would come in at number 2. It would be number
Number
2.
two.
We had the second highest harvest total of any deer season in Kentucky history. As Kentucky residents, does that make us happy or does that make us concerned?
I'm not concerned at all.
I'm not
The-
concerned.
The
I'm
reason
not concerned, but I want to know what it means. I don't think we have more deer. But I can't say we don't because the population is growing central western Kentucky. Arian
Yeah,
says he knows all this because he keeps the hunting guide in the bathroom.
excellent. Hey, he knows he's got it studied. I love it. That's great.
I love it. That's funny.
Hey, it's I'm not concerned because if you think about it, and we cover it. We see it. We talk to hunters. We see people share pictures here. There are no shortage of giant bucks, and every year we're continuing to produce
Yep.
really big bucks. I mean, Grant County for 3 or 4 years in a row now has spit out multiple 200-inch bucks. So clearly, the number of deer being harvested is not affecting the quality of the deer that we have right now.
Right.
It's still not a worry because the quality of deer is still excellent.
What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and I think the doe numbers are there. I think deer are, more times than not, you typically see two fawns with a doe. So they're, they're doubling, and tripling in some cases with triplets. So I honestly don't believe that there's any type of shortage of deer or problem with the population other than we're probably not really making a huge dent in it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think so. One thing I would like to see Kentucky do, and if you're not in Kentucky, I love you, and I'm sorry to say this, but I think we should raise our out-of-state deer hunting prices, our non-resident deer hunting prices. Don't have to raise them a lot. Raise them $75. People are still going to pay that. If you ask Gary Kite, if we raise the non-resident tax $75, would you still come? He's going to say yes. He might work an extra day on the railroad. I don't know. He's going to say yes. But it's going to bring in a lot more revenue. And then it may, some people may say, you know what? Not doing it. I don't know. I think we should do that. Virgil said it's the best deer season he's ever had. He's seen a lot of deer that he passed this season. And Virgil killed a good deer. Now, Chris says beef is too high. Scott says inflation. I just don't know. I just don't feel like that's true because most people pay someone to process their deer. Most of the deer hunters I know are paying to process the deer, and they're paying more than they'd pay for a pound of beef. But maybe they justify it, right? And if you include guns and ammo and arrows and bows and gas and time spent, hunting is really, unless you're going to kill like 6 to 8 deer and process them all yourself, it's really not that cost efficient. Am I wrong there?
No, I'd say that's a fair assessment, but I think people what they do is you're not paying the big corporations, you're not paying the inflated prices.
Oh, it's way better. It's way better I would say, I mean, you'd rather go and kill your own food. I tell everyone, even if they don't hunt, look, at some point in your life, you need to go out there and kill your own animal, and you need to harvest it. You need to gut it. You need to drag it out. You need to skin it. You need to process it. You need to freeze it. You need to cook it, and you need to feed your family with it because it's just good for your soul. It's just an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It is so rewarding. It teaches you so much about yourself, patience and discipline and effort. Like, it's so good for you. It's good to get your kids out there and have them do that because they're learning how to be self-sufficient. They're learning
Mm-hmm.
how to do difficult things, which kids need to know how to work through difficult things.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do it at least once. You need to do it every bit of it by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you love it, make it a habit, make it a hobby, and then someone else can process it, or you can keep doing it. But it is so much better than going to the grocery store. Some of us, like you and me this year, don't have the time to devote to it, which I did a lot of hunting this year. I was way too selective. Not on bucks, just on deer in general. Like, I went to Fort Knox, I could have killed does on most trips, and I was like, I'm going to kill a buck. That was stupid. That was so dumb. Next year I won't do that. But anyway, missed a couple. Yeah, I'm not comparing. I'm not saying, well, if you're going to spend money paying somebody to process it, you might as well buy beef. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't know how much people really save money by hunting. It's so much better for you. Everyone should do it. I just don't know if most people save money. Now, if you're killing 4, 6, 8, 10 deer and taking care of them yourself, you're saving a ton of money. But anyway, that's just my rant.
Yeah.
Josh says, I'm good with it. I had one of my worst seasons, but saw people around me have their best season. There you go. Jim said, John, make sure you let me know when you're coming to the shop, and I'll bring you some sausage. I'll be there tomorrow. Joking. I won't. Let's see. Virgil says, more hunters, never seen that many hunters in Peabody on opening weekend of rifle season. Whoa. Yeah, that's a bad time to go to Peabody, opening weekend of rifle season. That's the Orange Army right there. What are you going to say, Mike?
Yeah, I was just going to kind of give you a comment on raising tag prices. I think we're for non-resident. I think we're seeing that across the board in almost all the states.
Oh yeah, all the good states. Gary said he'd pay it.
Colorado's shutting non-residents out. You see it. We're seeing it right now for turkeys. I think Kansas already sold out all their non-resident tickets, and they're very few. They don't give out very many anymore. Nebraska's doing the same thing. So it's becoming a thing. It's becoming something that we're seeing across the U.S. as far as it becoming harder to be a non-resident hunter. So I don't ever want it to be a situation where I think I saw somebody say make it a draw. I think Joe mentioned make it a draw.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think
I don't want to shut it out that much because we want to promote hunting. We want to promote hunting, and we want to make it for the average person somewhat affordable to come to our state and pay money to stay in a hotel or eat at our our restaurants. It does go. I agree with you. I think economically, it helps Kentucky to draw. It's a big draw. People want to come here and spend their money, and but raising prices, I do think I agree with you.
Well, I think if you look at who was it that mentioned, was it Chris? Someone mentioned Boone and Crockett bucks. Maybe James Evans mentioned that. If you look at the states that have the highest Boone and Crockett output, you got Wisconsin, you have Iowa, you have Illinois, you have Kentucky, you have Ohio. I think those are the top 5 routinely. I think we're the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. I think you're probably right about that.
Iowa is a draw state. They say if you apply every year, you're going to get drawn like 3 to 4 years, and 3 or 4 times in your lifetime. Right? I think it's like every 8 to 10 years you get drawn. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Wisconsin, always number 1. Just loaded with deer. Illinois, Kansas. Kansas's draw. Illinois is very expensive, like $475, I think. Mm-hmm. I could be off some on that. Indiana's gotten expensive. Mm-hmm. Ohio and us are about the same, about $350.
Yep.
we need to be up there at the top. We need to be in the top 2 to 3 highest non-resident prices because we're in the top 4 to 5 every year. And so that's how I feel about it. I want a doe season mid-December for Modern Gun. I'm all for a Modern Gun doe season early, late, whenever people want it. I love it. If you did that, you would see numbers. Here's the thing. If you did one, let's say you did a December Modern Gun doe only 3 to 5 day season. Well, you have all these guys that only gun hunt and they only hunt in November, right? And once November's over, they're done, but they still have that little itch. I think you would see doe numbers go up quite significantly if you had that. But remind me though, do most people want to kill does? Most people want to kill does late in the season, right?
Yeah, I think most people do. I think most people do with the
I prefer to
idea
kill them
of
earlier.
with I will harvest a doe if a doe came up to me on opening day of September archery. I'm taking that opportunity and I'll knock my doe down, early. And I think a lot of people take the approaches that they don't want to harvest a doe early to disrupt any type of, to disrupt and create hunting pressure.
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense.
Taking deer out before the rut. I think some people take that.
I don't think that makes sense. Let me ask you a question. Let's think about it like this. All right. If there's only one gas station. No, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. That's a bad example. Forget I said that. But if you decrease, because it's the opposite of what's going on. It's the opposite. If you decrease doe numbers, though, let's say you hunt a property that's 40 acres, and you have 8 does to every buck on that acre on that land, which is not uncommon. 8 does to a buck if you're in central western Kentucky. Those bucks have the pick of the litter. Those bucks can go out there and bang, 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 knock those does out. But if you reduce that to 3 does per buck, now those bucks have competition. Competition's good. It's going to bring more bucks in. So less does a lot of times creates better bucks. Let's see. A lot of people don't have the equipment to do so.
To process their own deer.
That's what that's Chris. I literally have a knife. I have Ziploc bags. If you take the deer meat and you wrap it in saran wrap or butcher paper, you can put it in Ziploc bags and freeze it and it won't get freezer burned. Wrap it in saran wrap, wrap it in butcher paper, just put it in there. You don't have to vacuum seal it. Everyone has a knife, baggies, saran wrap. You can buy the wax paper, butcher paper, whatever. You can do it, Chris. Now, some people might not have the room. I just hung mine up in the tree in the front yard. I would love to have one right now where I could just hang it out there for a few days, right? I enjoy cutting up my own deer, process my own. Chris says, I'm going to hunt anyway, so that cost doesn't matter. We just pull it. That's my thing. Like, I'm not trying to, I buy beef and chicken is about the only meat I buy. Turkey sometimes. Mostly chicken. I got a ton of chicken there, and now it's cheap. Yeah. Beef is expensive now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like beef is almost like $5 for the fattest beef, like the 73.27 is almost $5 a pound. That's ridiculous.
We've started like getting together with a couple friends and buying a cow from a local farmer, man.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I just never think about it until it's kind of too late, or I see everybody else doing it.
I've started to support some local farmers and doing that because man, I like I think a lot of us probably think that way. We want to get back to simpler things, simpler times. We're hunting and we're fishing and we're using. We're gardening. I think people are starting to get back to wanting to do their own gardens and
sure.
With the things going on with chickens and bird flu and egg places being set on fire and all the, if you want to go down rabbit holes and conspiracy theories about them places burning down, people are getting chickens. So, self-sustainability is, in my opinion, kind of making a comeback. So I
Sure.
would much rather support a local farmer selling his cow and help paying for that processing rather than going to
Yeah.
Kroger. You know,
If you can afford it, I mean, that's the best way to go.
yeah,
Let's see here. Gordy says public land should be open to all. I think it's federal land should be open to all. I clicked on this and forgot. Gary says, let me pose a question. How many deer do you think are taken illegally, poached, or out of season, or deer that may be taken legally but never checked?
right. And then you can even add deer. You in this question, you can even add like how many deer get hit by cars. So like, there's a
Or,
lot.
yeah, how many deer are shot, never found?
Exactly.
A lot. There's a
There's
lot of that.
there's a lot of
So there's
deer.
thousands of deer that are killed every year that aren't checked.
Right.
Thousands. Now,
Yeah.
is that 5,000? Is it 25,000? I have no idea. It's probably lower than you think. I know there's people who do things illegally. I know there's poaching. There are deer killed in Kentucky every month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even in the summer, people go kill deer. Especially if you live somewhere remotely, somewhere where you're not going to get caught. Especially Eastern Kentucky, people poach all the time. PK finally here, says, "What's up, fellas?" PK, glad you're here. Wish you'd been here sooner. We only got 8 minutes left. Gary says, "I love hunting in Kentucky. I appreciate the way it's managed versus the way Tennessee manages. Tennessee has a lot of deer. Tennessee probably needs to go to the 1 buck rule.
They definitely do.
The reason Kentucky is so successful. One, listen, I'll just tell you, you can say whatever you want about fish and wildlife in Kentucky. There are other states that want to be Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have the deer herd Kentucky has. Now, you don't get there by accident. You get there through good management practices. Yeah, you get there through good agriculture. You get there through good, a variety of environments that deer can live in Kentucky. You get there through good hunting practices. But our State Department has done an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to do an excellent job. And if they ever drop the ball, if they ever lower their standard, if they ever pander to those who are not part of the hunting community, we'll call them out. Absolutely call them out. But right now, I think they're doing a great job. And I don't care what other people say. That's what I think. And I know those guys, and they really care. I would love to see this. If we added a doe season a week before muzzleloader, would be great. PK said his freezer doesn't discriminate. Josh says I can get behind a December doe modern gun. Gary, out-of-state hunters being in a ton of money to the state above and beyond the license fee. Average out-of-state cost for a week for us is over $2,000, not counting license or tags.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean it's a costly trip to prepare for. It really is, and I don't ever want to get to a point where it's so expensive that literally people can't afford to hunt, because hunting is not supposed to be that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing: if you don't want residents being priced out,
right?
You don't want your residents being priced out of hunting. But if you're a non-resident coming to the state, then you're not worried about being priced out of hunting. So we can raise it. Right. Anthony says that buck having too many does in heat can get that buck to the point he does or gets close to killing himself from exhaustion. Thoughts? I read this in the article. Are you following that, Mike?
So I have heard of bucks dying because of just exhaustion of running deer. I've seen clips of it. I've seen like examples of it. So I don't know how often that happens, but I think that there's always a possibility for something like that to occur.
So he's saying like if the buck has too many does to breed, it could get to the point where it dies from exhaustion. Whereas if you have a limited number of does, I don't know. What we do know is that, sorry, I'm sending an email for work.
I don't think that's common. I don't think that's a common thing.
No. I think the point is, though, reducing doe numbers increases buck activity.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some guys that will say your doe to buck ratio needs to be 1-to-1, which seems crazy to me.
I'm a
That
two to
seems a
one
little
believer.
extreme.
I'm a 2-to-1 believer. I
Two
think
to one, 3-to-1. If you have a property like your uncle Darren's, what is it, about 80 acres?
His is about 65 to 70
Okay,
ish.
so 65, 70 acres. If he just had a 3-to-1 ratio, I think you're seeing bucks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're cruising, they're coming in. You guys, I'm sure it's probably much more than that though.
Yeah, I think it is.
But
I do think it is.
my brother's property out in Western Kentucky, he's got, he owns 8 acres, I think, which is part of a bigger like 60, excuse me, 60, 65. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 12 does to every buck. Just absolutely overrun with does.
Yeah, he's got a lot of.
And he'll tell you, I don't want to disrupt it. Even though everything out there says he needs to take a ton of does. But hey, you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. That's true. All right, Mike, will you go through some comments here? We're going to wrap up.
Absolutely.
See, look, guys, the amount of people who are coming in here late, Steve, you're 56 minutes late, brother.
Steve just said he checked the camera this weekend, had it out almost 2 months, and he forgot to turn it on. That's always a stinky. That's always a stinky mistake. I've been there.
So I used to get on Marketplace and eBay, and I would buy those little cheap Tascos.
Yeah.
They're like 22. They used to be like $22 at Walmart. Mm-hmm. They're probably 30 something now. But you could buy them on eBay and Facebook Marketplace for like $10. And so one summer I bought a bunch, or not a bunch. I bought a handful, and I took one up here to T and Sullivan in Frankfurt. And it's hard to tell if they're on or not. And I put one out in August, and I came back to get it in like, I don't know, March of the next year. It had been out for like 8 months. And when I got there, I'd never turned it on. Never turned it on. And I was so excited to see everything I caught. Never turned it on. So
yeah.
I feel it. It's pretty stupid.
Hey, we said that we said we were talking about trapping. We definitely have not talking traps. We have not.
Hey, we trapped you guys into coming here to talk about trapping, and now we're talking about deer. But look, we are making trapping great again. Talking about trapping, look at this guy, Tate Henson. If you're not following Tate on all social media, you're missing out. My daughters think Tate is Mr. Beast of the outdoors. That's literally what they call Tate. Daddy, your friend Tate. I'm like, hey, I know Tate. Obviously, social media friends. Your friend Tate is the Mr. Beast of the outdoors. Tate, I've told them one of these days we're going to stop by London and they can get your autograph. But he traps a lot in his backyard. Do you follow Tate?
I'll have to double check and make sure. If I don't, I will now.
We watch him on TikTok.
Yeah.
And him and James, my girls love James too. And I hated that for one day they were banned, but hey, we're making TikTok great again too. So
yeah. Hey, I saw Chris said that I should hunt or I should fish on Thursday nights with my Uncle Darren. I'll try to make that happen. I've done that a couple times with him. With it being on a weekday, it's kind of tough for me to do that, but yeah, I'll try to plan on doing that, Chris, and we'll try to meet up down there. I know that's typically little small town tournament down in one of my favorite places, Elmer Davis there, John. So they run tournaments there on Thursday nights. So I'll try to do that.
Elmer Davis, my daughter's Barbie fishing pole is still at the bottom of that lake where she just went boop and dropped it in. So real quick, we're gonna go, but Gary said he already reserved his place at turkey camp. So we're having turkey camp again, opening weekend of turkey season. Last year we had 25 people, roughly 25 people. We had 2 countries represented. I'm not exaggerating. We had Canada and United States represented, 2/3 of North America, if you will. And we had Arkansas, we had Tennessee, we had Kentucky. We had people from all over, 22, 25 people, I don't know. Twin Knobs Campground, Moorhead, Kentucky, Cave Run Lake, opening weekend of turkey season. It is the best time There are turkeys that are going to be killed. There's a lot of food that's going to be eaten. There's a lot of guys who are going to go there and have the time of their lives. And you guys need to sign up. So here's what I'm going to do. I will try to. Gary got A13. Gary, I think that's the one I always get. I think that's the one we always get, A13.
Typically, yeah, A13, A12, somewhere around there.
Gary, look what Gary did. He swept right in. He swooped in and took her place. My truck has a dent in the side of it where I ran over the post that says A13 on it. That's a sentimental campsite for me, Gary.
Goodness.
But Mike's not going to be there this year, right?
No, that's not true. That's not true. I do. Maybe. It's going to be a tricky weekend. Haley's got like nationals. It's like regional or something. Nationals cheerleading in Indianapolis, and my boys will more than likely have some type of sporting event that I might have to figure out how to get.
Here's the thing, Mike. Haley is going to have more tournaments, but you're not going to get this turkey camp again.
Right.
Every turkey camp's different.
It is very different. Like I said,
get this one again. Haley will be fine.
Oh, for sure. Well,
she doesn't care if you're there or not.
I'm not going to be there because it's going to be in Indiana, and Steph will have to take her. But I'll have to figure out what to do with my boys. So, and they're probably going to have sporting events themselves. So that's the only.
You know what? Listen, the only sporting event your boys need to be at is Turkey Camp 2025.
I'm with you, and if I can work that out, I'm going to do that.
So. Josh Wilson's laughing because I think he was there when I ran over that post.
He probably was.
Anyone go to NWTF? I'm going to try to go Saturday and Sunday, PK. Depends on work, but I'm going to try to go. Josh Wilson says, I'd have to come up on the wife's birthday, so I doubt I'll make turkey camp, but I'll make up for it with a deer camp appearance. Now, Josh, you didn't come to deer camp this year, and you said you were going to. So I don't know. We hope you are. A13 is a good spot. Yes, it is. That is my spot. Virgil's coming this year. We're so glad to have you. PK's coming this year. PK's never been to turkey camp, has he?
I don't believe so.
No. PK, first year appearance. Bring Frankie with you. Frankie's got a girlfriend. I saw that. So, anyway, turkey camp is a blast. Deer camp's a blast. Hanging out with our best friends. And, man, that's why we do this on Tuesday nights. Hang out with you guys. Yep. 150,000 deer killed in Kentucky.
That's crazy.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty freaking good. So, listen, guys, we're going to hop off here. We'll be back next week. How about this? If you are trapping, whether it's a raccoon, a coyote, a fox, a bobcat, if you're trapping, take pictures. I'm going to try to put out a post in the morning. Next week, we're going to give away something. I don't know what. I have a dog-proof trap. I might just give it away. We're going to give away something for your trapping photos. I don't remember how we did it last time, Mike. Help me figure that out. But we appreciate you. And, hey, listen, we're making trapping great again. We didn't talk about it tonight.
Yeah, 200. We didn't talk about it much tonight, but we brought it up. We're going to keep building on it.
Well, because literally right before I hit go live, I said, hey, we need to talk about deer numbers. And Mike's like, oh, yeah, we do. And that's what we did.
Conversation went another direction. It happens.
Love it.
I think we're around like the 265, 270-ish comments is where we're.
All right. We're less than 300, Joe. How many comments, Joe? Here's what I'll say. Not enough. Not enough. Arian, send me your address. I'll shoot this down to London. I'll be coming through on Monday, but I'd rather mail it. Hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us. It means the world to us. So glad. We hope this is going to be the best year we've ever had. I think we say that every year, but this one I'm determined. Turkey camp's coming up, deer camp, and every Tuesday night we're going to be here talking to y'all. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. Y'all have a great week.
Absolutely.